All right, this week going to finish up the handbook and everything with chapters 7 through 10. Chapter 7 is only a couple pages long, and it gets back into the smart science. It gets into the no one size fits all, which is kind of contrary to AA belief, which is like you either get sober through AA or you don't at all. And it goes through like the stuff from the previous chapters, like the CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, the rational emotive behavior therapy, REBT, and a bunch of other different ones like motivational interviewing, trans theoretical model of behavior change, recovery communities, and mutual aid, which is gets into like later chapters like with like friends and family. Another one is they mentioned is recovery capital, and another one is therapeutical lifestyle change, and they talk about the third wave CBT, which is dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, and acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. And they give a bunch of like websites that you can go to. Like one is drugabuse.gov/publications. Another one is behaviortherapy.com/whatworks. And the third one is the nrepp.samhsa.gov. Those are websites you can go check for stuff that gets into the actual science of what's behind, like what I just mentioned, and everything. Chapter 8 is another one that is just another couple pages long, and it pretty much just has like is what's called smart tools and strategy matrix. Is like it gives like a little work like a pamphlet or whatever of the different stages, like what like I mentioned in previous chapters, like the contemplation, the preparation, action, and maintenance, and it has like a little diagram of it, like through those stages of change. It gives different strategies and like the what they say smart tools. And like I said, these first two chapters are only like a couple pages long, and then with chapter 9 is like about 3-4 pages long, and it's titled "Family and Friends." And you get into like the community reinforcement approach and facility training, otherwise known as craft. And what that says is like it's 2 times more likely as the what is known as the Johnson intervention is getting sober or clean, and it says like 6 times as likely as Al-Anon, which is like an offshoot of AA for non-alcoholic family members who have the alcoholic or drug addict in their life. And this gets into, like I said, the community reinforcement where like friends and family try to get you sober and everything. And so like kind of like showcases that the science and psychology approach is like a lot more productive way to go about uh, getting someone off their addictive behaviors other than AA. And like which is why like I'm someone who's a firm believer that the you need to put like the religion and the spirituality as for and foremost in AA to the side. Once you get your addictive behaviors put away and everything. And the three goals for this in this chapter would be to improve the quality of your life, regardless of one of loved ones' choices. Two is influence your loved one to reduce their using. And three is influence loved ones to pursue recovery. And like they have like a book that they mentioned there. And it's called "Get Your Loved Ones Sober: Alternatives to Nagging, Bleeding, and Threatening" by Robert J. Myers and Brenda L. Wolfe, and both are PhD doctors. And examples they give for this chapter are like stop fixing messes, take control of life and the relationship, map new behavior patterns, recognize when situations become dangerous, create a rapid exit plan for that, and encourage loved ones into treatment, identify loved ones' triggers. Like for me, would be going like or at least early on, could be going by and or into a bar, and get into like a support recovery, and then the last one is use new techniques to solve old problems. It's like the old adage, like insanity trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So that's why you want to do like the new techniques to solve old problems. And they have like the online meetings and forums. They got the publications, like I mentioned earlier. And then the last chapter is chapter 10, and it's about SMART, and like says its purpose is to help individuals gain independence from addiction. Its mission is to offer no fee, self-empowering, science-based support for abstaining from addiction. Their vision is to think that SMART would want to be worldwide. Its history is it started back in 1994 after ending affiliation with another science-based recovery called Rational Recovery, and it has like a hierarchy of SMART volunteers and support. It starts off with the board of directors, the International Advisory Council, the regional coordinators, committee members, and it goes down to like advisors, facilitators, and online volunteers. And like I guess finishes like the last chapter of the policy, like talks about medication, like the proper use, and like if you're someone who absolutely needs to be on medication, like for like a common one would be like depression or whatever, you'd want to be on it and be under doctor supervision so you can properly take it and everything, so you don't like abuse go into abusing your medication and everything. Like they talk about the disease model. You don't necessarily need to believe if addiction is disease or whether it is or not, and it does have the confidentiality, like which is a good thing. So like because some people don't necessarily want to like shout it out to the world, where like hey, look, I have a problem, I'm getting help and everything. Sometimes people just want to keep it low key. And then of course there's people like me who are like, hey, look, I had a problem, I dealt with it and everything, I've moved on with my life. And like it also talks about personal responsibility, like it gets into like is it a personal choice or not and everything. Like for me, my drinking, like I would say, at least started off as a personal choice, and then after several years of drinking, it did become an addiction and a problem. So like and it took me like a while to like recover, to finally get to the point where like with the stages that I mentioned earlier, to kind of go through that and finally get to the point where like I could and wanted to get sober. And it gets into like what's known as respect, like you getting back to like earlier chapters, like not using labels to kind of like downplay that negative self-talk, like, oh, I'm a worthless alcoholic, or I'm just a junkie or whatever. That's why they don't want to use labels and everything. And like they do touch on like spirituality and say that there's no adherence. Like I mentioned, like it doesn't have to necessarily be first and foremost, just like with the religion of AA, where it's like you have to accept this, and it's the only way that you're going to get sober. Like for me, I kind of had to like leave AA and get in like for several years to kind of like get on into my own path and everything, to kind of find my own way. And so like the old adage that like I like that comes across my mind, like if you ever want to become an atheist, join AA. And so like that's pretty much why like I'm big on like you don't necessarily like want to have spirituality first and foremost. More like you want to have like get your mind straight and on an even keel, and get yourself set up to like a point where you can start getting into that like later on. And that's pretty much like the how like a smart handbook goes. And like I said before, like you can get them off Amazon, like I think like I said, like yeah, you could get it like for like $14 or something. Like I know like when I got it like several years ago, like it was like from my brother, it was like $10 or whatever. And it's based on the edition I got is based on the DSM-5, which was released in like May 2013. So I've heard that like it's updated every 10 years or so. So like as of this recording, it should probably be updated to probably like the DSM-6 in the next year or so. I'm sure that there are probably other people that can like quote it, quote, and maybe pull in like information better than like I'm more aware of as this. And now with getting the handbook done, like going forward, I'm going to be getting into like content and everything that like has helped me over the years that I've come across in my recovery, and that I'm going to try and share the information so that way people can get into that and everything, so that they can get the help that they need and everything. So like next week will be start of getting into that content and everything. So until next time.